What is up, everyone? Today, boom, A Conjuring of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is book 2 in a darker shade of magic. I've still got my bookmark in here. I didn't even notice. Alright, so the TLDR of this review is plot bad, characters good. And the first half of this review will be me complaining about the plot, so strap in for that. So most of this book takes place in Red London, which is, of course, the magical London where Kell is from. And there's like this Olympic game sort of situation happening between the three biggest empires within the Red London world. And you get like references to that throughout the first half of the book. But nothing like actually happens. Like, I don't think these Olympic games start until like page 200, like late 200s, and this is like a 500-page book. And then when we do get to the Olympic Games, they're just games. Like, what exactly are the stakes? Like, basically all our characters are in these games in one way or another, but I don't care if like any of them lose, really. And like if they do lose, it's not like they die or something. So yeah, there's a huge problem with a lot of the scenes in this book and how relevant they are to like the actual plot and my total like interest level in things that are going on within this book. And then the first half of the book, my goodness. So, I mean, there's Lila and Kell, of course. And the Lila parts are like a little exciting because she's kind of learning more about being a pirate. She starts the book as a pirate, so that's cool. And I do like good pirate stories. I think that's like a fun fantasy trope for me. And we also learn about Alucard, who is a character that's a pirate with Lila, who's important to the book. So maybe some of those scenes are important for character development, but they do go on for like a little bit too long. The pirating in the first half of this book isn't really relevant to like the main plot of what's actually going on. I would say no. I would say maybe it's only there for character development. And that is like the good half of the first half of the book. The bad half, that is just objectively less exciting to me, is Kell and Rye just bar hopping, or I don't even know what they're doing. It's just so boring. Like nothing happened. Like, it's like, yo, Kell, let's ditch our guards and go to the bars and like hook up with some chicks. And it's like, all right, let's go. And then they get back, and the dad's like, oh, you guys have to be more careful, blah, blah, blah. And then the guards, like, what are you guys doing? You can't let them do this. And then like there's a conversation with like them and their guards, and it's like, this is all so boring. Come on. And then there's so many conversations with the guards, and it's not like you can't have the guards be important to the story somehow, or like minor characters more broadly be important to the story. But I mean, they're minor characters for a reason, right? We don't need like all these scenes with the guards and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like the end was pretty cool. It was solid. The Olympic Games in this book were pretty cool, even though again, I don't know how relevant they are to like the broader world or even to like the characters. But I mean, it was fun, I guess. And this is a lot of what I said about the first book. A lot of the things in the first book I thought were fun, but I thought a larger percentage of the first book was relevant to the overarching plot. Although that book definitely had some scenes as well that like they probably could have been cut, but it still felt fast-paced enough for me to keep my interest. All right, but now we talk about the characters, and this is spoiler-free, so I can't get too deep into what happens, but we know Kell obviously from the first book, and I thought he continued to develop in a way that I like. I mean, I liked him a lot in the first book, but I continued to like him. Lila, we learn more about, and she's also great. But in addition to that, we have Rye, who I don't think had many, if any, perspectives in the first book, but we got more of his perspectives and him working through trying to, you know, become like a leader to the kingdom. I think that was pretty cool. And I think he's kind of seen as a leader of the people, but like he has internal struggles about, okay, like what should I do in this situation? Maybe this thing I should do isn't the thing that's not going to make me liked with the people. So, you know, maybe he's thinking about making tougher decisions. And yeah, overall, I like Rye. and his development. And then Alucard, who's the captain of the pirate ship. I think he has an interesting story arc as well. I think all the story arcs are interesting. I think we could have done them in less pages, of course. But I'm definitely interested to pick up the third book just to see what happens with the characters and, just to have like a completed story. And I'm 2 books into a 3-book trilogy, so I might as well finish the series at this point. But yeah, characters good, plot bad. The villains, I think, were actually probably better in this story as well than the first book. I feel like there's some setup there that needed to happen. This kind of has middle book syndrome in some ways, but I mean, still, I'll contend that even though I haven't read the third book, a lot of like the plot things that happen in this book, there's no way they all tie together into the third book. But I do really hope I like how this series ends. The chapters are still short, which I like, especially when a lot of the chapters are totally pointless stuff being talked about. It makes me feel like I can get through the pointless parts faster. And yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I don't know when I'll get to the third book, but I'm hoping it'll be soon. But yeah, here it is, A Conjuring of Light. It's a little longer than the second book, which has me a little worried just because of how many wasted pages I felt were in the second book. But hopefully this answers a lot of the questions that have been posed by the first 2 books. And hopefully it's a satisfying conclusion to the series. But we shall see. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.